Hello and welcome back to Being Significant. I am Rohit and I welcome you all to the seventh episode of Learning Excel. So, in the previous episode, we have learned an amazing formula or amazing function, which is VLOOKUP in Excel, through which we can look for a particular value if it is present in the other dataset, and we can bring that in our first dataset. So that's something which we learned about. In this one, we are going to learn another amazing feature which is there in Excel, which is called pivot operation. So what exactly is pivot and how do we do it is something we'll speak about now. And so let's say I'm asking you this question. So this is again my economic census data of all different wards which are there in Bangalore. So if you'll observe this particular first column, what is it? What information does it contain? Is it has the number for the ward. As in, like, this is ward number 1, ward number 2, 3, 4, and so on. So it is giving me information about in each ward there are 4 types of industries which are manufacturing, other services, and trade. Okay, so this is the 4 types of industries which we are talking about. And as per each ward, in each type of industries, how many enterprises are there, how many total workers are there, and that too divided or segregated in terms of male and female workers. So if I'll ask you a question, and that question is like, if I want to understand in total how many enterprises are there for which the industry is manufacturing, or let's say how many total workers are there for which the industry is services, or how many male workers are working in service type of industry, something like this. So these questions, if I'll ask you, so usually what you will do is you will select this entire data, you will put a filter, and then let's say you're talking about manufacturing, so you will only select manufacturing over here. And if my question was how many total enterprises are there which are there in manufacturing, what you can do, you can copy these values, or like see this result over here. So this is how you will get the sum. However, like for each of these operations, it will become very tedious for you to like keep summing, keep adding those, and give the answers. So to make this thing much more simpler, there's something called pivot table operation, which is used in Excel. Okay, so how does pivot work? It will actually give you the all of these frequencies, these counts, as per whatever requirement that you're talking about. Okay, so our very first step will be to select this entire data, and like this, control shift right arrow, then control shift down arrow, and I'll move up and go to this insert tab in the toolbar. So this is a menu bar, by the way. Just click on insert and you can see this pivot table option which is available. If you click on it, it will give you certain options, but you will select this from table / range. So if you click on it, a pop-up will appear something like this. Okay, so what you need to do is it has already given the range because we have already selected it initially, and it is giving you 2 more options below. So whatever output that we want out of this operation, do we want to keep it in the new worksheet, or do we want to keep it here in the same worksheet? So if you want like to create the output in a newer worksheet, so you select this option. But for now, I will click on this existing worksheet. And let's say this is where I want to produce the output. So I'll click on the cell over here. Okay, and this will automatically take that particular location. And then I'll press OK. So as soon as I'll do this, something like this appear on the right side of your Excel sheet. So let's say I want to capture that what is the total number of workers in my ward wise. I want to see what is the total number of workers and not as per the industry. So what I'll do, I'll pick my ward number from here and I'll put it to my rows. And what I'll do, I'll pick the total workers from here and put it to this values part, values section. So as soon as I'll do it, so it is automatically giving me sum of the total work. So what is happening, and if I'll see the result now, if I'll close this, you will see as per my wards, it is giving me how many total workers are there. So for example, this is my ward 1, and these are my total number of workers. So if I'll ask you how many total workers are there in my ward 1, so I will actually add up all the workers which are from ward 1, and regardless of what industries they are working in, because this is what my requirement was, right? So yeah, so here you will see it's the sum is coming out to be 6530, and this is exactly what I'm getting here. Let's say I have some other requirement. Okay, so I'll again do another pivot over here. So what I'll do, I'll again select this data, control shift right arrow, then control shift down arrow, and now I want to do what? Again, I'll go to insert, click on pivot table from data table range. I'll keep selecting this range, and then I'll click on existing worksheet, and now I'll be writing it over here. Okay, and I'll click on OK. So now this time I want to understand as per industry, which is my manufacturing, services, and others, how many enterprises are there and how many total workers. So I want to see multiple things in a way. Okay, so I'll pick industries from here, I'll put it to my rows, and let's say I want to check total number of enterprises. So I'll pick it up and put it to my values, and it will change to sum. So if this is not appearing as sums for you, just click on this arrow which you can see and click on value field settings and change this to sum. If you are getting a count or something, just change this to sum. Okay. All right. So apart from enterprise, let's say I also want total workers. So I'll pick this up. Again, I'll put it to my values. This should also appear as my so here you should see like there are two things which are coming, sum of total workers and then sum of enterprises. And apart from this, I also want to see how many female workers are there separately and how many male workers are there separately in total. Okay, and once I've done this, okay, so I'll close this, and here you will see in manufacturing total male workers are these many, total workers are these many, total female workers are these many, and total enterprises are these many. So such complicated requirement that we had is something which we have done it so simply. Okay, let's see one last requirement and then we'll close this. So let's say I'll do the same thing which I was doing now. So I will select my entire data. I'll click on insert. I'll go to pivot from table range. I'll choose existing worksheet, and let's say here somewhere I'll put this result. Okay, and I'll click on OK. Then industry is something which I'll put to rows, and then total workers, total enterprises, and male and female and all that. Okay, so this is something which I've done. So this is something which is similar to the previous exercise that we did. I just had one variation. What I want to keep one filter on, which is my ward number. So let's say if specifically I want to see these results in a particular ward, then I should be able to choose it. So that option I want to have with me. Okay, so what I've done, I put the ward number, I picked it up from here and I put it to my filter part. Okay, filter pan. And now if I'll close this, you will see it is appearing somewhere here like this, and it has given me one additional part where I can select my ward number. Let's say, so these are some values, total values. I want to select 5. I click OK, and the values will change. Something else, I can go over here again and select some other word. So this is how it will work for me. So yeah, so this was about pivot operation that we spoke about, which is really helpful, and you can perform multiple operations using pivot table operation. Yeah, so at times you'll also feel the need that you want to, whatever pivot that you have created, you might want to alter it a bit. You have done some mistake or something. So usually that pan will be gone. So what you can do, anywhere in the pivot that you have created, just do a right click, and there's something called show field will appear. So if you click on this, this will come back. So now let's say I want to remove this filter, I can simply remove this field and I can change and edit this. Or let's say I want to remove even this particular column. So I can just remove this, and this is how I will get the result. Also, like there are other possibilities. If I'll go to my pivot again, so right now we were doing all the sums over here, right? But if I want to change the sum to, let's say, average, so what I can do is, like, I can just simply click on this, just total work is something I want to check the average per manufacturing industry, or like per as based on certain industries. I can click over here and change the sum to average, and it will give me the average in that particular industry. Just one more thing, like apart from the link which I have uploaded for this data, I've also uploaded a link for the PPT. If you want to refer to it, you feel free to. If you have any questions, again, you can ask me.